Have you ever felt completely and utterly exhausted? Not just physically tired, but a deep soul-level exhaustion. The kind that comes from constantly pushing, constantly striving, constantly trying to force life to bend to your will. You wake up every day with a to-do list that never ends, a mind that never stops racing, and a gnawing anxiety that you are not doing enough, not achieving enough, not being enough. You are at war with your circumstances, with your relationships, with your own ambition, and you are losing. Every day is a battle. You try to force a promotion at work. You try to force a relationship to be what it once was. You try to force yourself to be more disciplined, more productive, more perfect. And what are the results? Burnout, frustration, resentment, a profound sense of bitterness because the harder you push against the world, the harder it seems to push back. You feel like you are running on a treadmill set to an impossible speed, and the only thing you are producing is your own sweat and your own despair. Could it be that this effort, this struggle, this hustle that the world celebrates as a virtue, is in fact the very source of your failure? What if the reason you are so tired is because you are fighting a battle you were never meant to fight? Maybe the key to winning, to achieving everything you desire, was not to push harder, but to stop pushing entirely. Because the reality is, you could be pushing for the wrong thing, in the wrong direction. Lao Tzu, the ancient and mysterious author of the Ching, saw this sickness of the human spirit over 2 millennia ago. He understood that the universe operates on a principle that is the exact opposite of our desperate striving. He taught that true power, true effectiveness, and true peace come not from force, but from yielding, not from fighting, but from flowing. He wrote, "Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished." This video is for you who are tired of fighting, for you who feel that your life has become an endless series of battles you did not choose, for you who are beginning to suspect that your greatest efforts are leading you further away from the peace you crave. Today we are not going to learn a new way to fight. We are going to learn how to lay down our arms. We are going to explore the profound and paradoxical wisdom of letting go, and discover how, in doing so, you can gain a power and control you never dreamed possible. Get ready to stop fighting and finally start winning. Why is your life so difficult? Why do your best-laid plans crumble into dust? Why do your most intense efforts result in so much resistance, so much friction? You believe it is because you aren't trying hard enough, that you need more discipline, more willpower, a better strategy. You spend your days analyzing, planning, and worrying, trying to construct the perfect path forward, only to watch it get washed away by the unpredictable tides of life. You feel lost. You feel like you are hacking your way through a dense, dark jungle with no map and no compass. You feel that life is a series of random, chaotic events, and your only role is to react, to defend, to survive. Every interaction is a potential threat. Every decision is fraught with peril. This constant state of vigilance is what drains you. It is the source of the deep exhaustion you feel. It is the feeling of a soul that is fundamentally disconnected from the world it inhabits. You are fighting a current you cannot see, and you are wondering why you are making no progress. Lao Tzu had a name for this current. He called it the Tao, the Way. The Tao is not a god or a deity. It is the natural, effortless, underlying flow of the universe. It is the pattern that makes the seasons change, the rivers flow to the sea, and the trees grow towards the sun. It is the silent, invisible intelligence that guides all things. It is the path of least resistance. When you are struggling, when you are suffering, when you feel that everything is a battle, it is a sign that you are out of alignment with the Tao. You are trying to swim upstream. He uses the metaphor of water. Water is soft and yielding, yet it can overcome the hardest rock. It does not fight, it flows around obstacles. It does not strive, it finds the lowest point. It is humble, yet it is the most powerful substance on earth. This, Lao Tzu says, is the nature of the Tao, and it should be the nature of your life. Your suffering comes from trying to be the rock, rigid, brittle, and resistant. You believe your strength lies in your unyielding nature. But the rock is what gets worn down, broken apart, and turned to sand. Power, true power, lies in becoming like water. But how does one do that? It feels like giving up. It feels like passivity. How can doing nothing possibly be a form of action? This is the central secret of Taoist wisdom, the principle of Wu Wei, and in the next part, we will uncover what it truly means. If this content is making sense to you, click the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support. What does your action look like? Is it frantic, forced, born of anxiety? When a problem arises, is your first instinct to meddle, to control, to manage every little detail? Do you send that extra email, make that extra phone call, have that extra conversation, convinced that your intervention is necessary? You are the person who is always busy, always moving, always doing something. But look honestly at the results. Does your frantic action bring peace, or does it create more drama? Does it solve the problem, or does it create 3 new ones? Does your meddling make people feel calm, or does it make them feel controlled and resentful? You are suffering from the disease of ineffective action. You are like a nervous cook who keeps opening the oven, poking the cake, and wondering why it never rises. Your constant interference, born of your own fear and lack of trust, is smothering the natural process of things. You expend enormous amounts of energy, yet you achieve very little of substance. You are the busiest person you know and also the most stuck. This is the opposite of Wu Wei. Wu Wei, one of the most important concepts in Taoism, is often translated as non-action or effortless action. This is deeply misleading. It does not mean being a passive lump, lying on the couch and waiting for life to happen to you. That is not wisdom, that is laziness. Wu Wei is the art of acting in alignment with the natural flow of the Tao. It is action that is spontaneous, unforced, and perfectly effective, because it is not burdened by the striving of the ego. Think of a master craftsman carving wood. He is not fighting the material. His movements are fluid, confident, born of years of practice. He listens to the grain of the wood and follows it. Think of a skilled surfer riding a massive wave. She is not trying to control the ocean. She is aligning her skill and intuition with the immense power that is already there. That is Wu Wei. It is action that feels effortless because it is in perfect harmony with the situation. It is achieving the maximum effect with the minimum amount of effort. To practice Wu Wei is to unlearn your addiction to struggle. It is to learn to wait for the right moment, when a small action can have a huge impact. It is to trust that not every problem requires your immediate frantic intervention. But our minds rebel against this. They are noisy, chaotic places filled with ego, desire, and fear. How can we ever hope to hear the quiet call of the Tao, to know when to act and when to refrain? To do so, we must first learn the art of emptying our own minds. In the next part, we will explore this difficult, essential practice. Look inside your mind right now. What do you see? For most of us, it is a raging storm, a relentless inner monologue that never ceases, a chaotic swirl of thoughts, plans, worries, regrets, and fantasies. You are replaying a conversation from yesterday, obsessing over what you should have said. You are worrying about a meeting next week, imagining all the ways it could go wrong. You are consumed by desire for something you don't have, or by fear of losing something you do. Your mind is a full cup, overflowing with so much noise that there is no room for anything else. This is the state in which you make your decisions. This is the state from which you act. And you wonder why your actions are so often clumsy, ineffective, and born of anxiety? Your noisy mind makes you deaf to reality. You don't see the situation as it is. You see it through a thick filter of your own fears and desires. You don't listen to other people. You listen to your own internal commentary about them. You are cut off from your own intuition, that deep, quiet knowing that lies beneath the surface of the storm. You are trapped in the prison of your own thoughts, a prisoner who paces a tiny cell, unaware that the door has been unlocked the entire time. Lao Tzu taught that the mind of the sage is not full, it is empty. He wrote, 30 spokes share the wheel's hub. It is the center hole that makes it useful. The power is not in the spokes, but in the emptiness at the center. The mind must become like a still, quiet mountain lake. Only when the water is still can it accurately reflect the moon and the stars. When the water is turbulent, The reflection is distorted and broken. Your turbulent mind gives you a distorted, broken picture of reality. To practice this emptying is to begin a practice of inner silence. It is meditation. It is long walks in nature. It is the conscious choice to disengage from the frantic inner monologue. You observe your thoughts without getting attached to them, like watching clouds drift across the sky. You learn not to take your own anxieties so seriously. You create space. It is in this space, this inner quietude, that wisdom arises. It is here that you can finally hear the subtle whispers of intuition. The right action becomes obvious. The solution to a complex problem appears with stunning simplicity. You become a vessel for the Tao rather than an obstacle to it. But this path of emptying the self, of letting go of the ego's frantic grip, goes against everything our society teaches. What happens to our ambition, our goals, our very sense of self? This leads us to the final, most profound paradox of the Taoist master. Our world worships the useful. We are taught from childhood to have a purpose, to be productive, to have a clear function. Your value is tied to your job title, your income, your accomplishments. We are terrified of being seen as useless. To be useless is to be a failure, a burden, an outcast. So we spend our lives trying to be the sharpest axe, the most efficient tool, the most polished cog in a machine we did not build and do not control. We tailor our personalities to be useful to our employers. We contort our emotions to be useful to our partners. We present an image to the world designed to be liked, to be approved of, to be seen as valuable. And in this desperate quest to be useful to everyone else, we become profoundly useless to ourselves. We betray our own nature. We silence our own calling. We exhaust our vital energy, our chai, in service of goals that are not our own. We live and die as a well-regarded tool, never having been the hand that wielded it. Lao Tzu saw this as a profound tragedy. He tells a story of a carpenter who marvels at a huge, ancient, gnarled oak tree. The carpenter's apprentice asks why he doesn't cut it down, as it would provide a vast amount of wood. The carpenter replies, "It is useless. If I made a boat from it, it would sink. If I made a coffin, it would rot. If I made a tool, it would break. Because its wood is of no use, no one has ever cut it down. And so it has been able to live out its long, long life. This is the great secret of the sage's strength. By being useless according to the world's narrow, frantic definitions, you preserve yourself. You protect your own energy. You follow your own true nature. You are not forced into a shape that does not fit you. Your value is no longer defined by your function for others, but by the simple, sovereign fact of your own being. This doesn't mean you achieve nothing. It means what you do achieve is a natural outgrowth of who you are, not a desperate performance to win approval. This is the ultimate victory of not fighting. You win the war for your own soul by refusing to fight the world's battles. You find your purpose by letting go of the need to be useful. You become powerful by embracing the wisdom of softness, of yielding, of flowing with the great silent river of the Tao. You let go, and in doing so, you gain everything. Now ask yourself, are you ready to lay down your arms? Are you ready to stop fighting the current? Are you ready to trust the flow of your own life? Comment below, "I choose the flow." Make this a declaration, a commitment to unclenching your fist and opening your hand, not in defeat, but in ultimate trust. And your journey does not end here. The next video is essential. It will explore how to apply this principle of non-resistance in the face of direct conflict and aggression. You must continue. The art of letting go is a practice for a lifetime. See you there.